everyone else seems to have their shit together. I feel like I don't have anything figured out. Have you said that? Do you kind of feel that deep down inside where you go, I feel like I'm watching my life happen to me. I don't feel like I'm really living it. Or you might say, I'm jealous of people who look like they have this passion about anything. Because I don't feel it. I don't know what makes me feel excited. All I know is something has to change. But then that's followed by paralysis. Okay, if that's you, you're not alone. This is a really common thing that happens when we don't know what we really want in life. When we become disconnected from what makes us feel alive or feel joyful, or that thing that makes us really tap into creativity, when we become disconnected from ourselves, it's really easy to lose sight of what we really want. And that question has to be answered before you can do anything else. Before you can change your life, you have to know what you really want. My dog's over here. He wants out. He knows what he wants. He wants out of the room. He goes, Mom's making another video. Today, what I'm gonna share with you is what's helped me tap into the things that make me come alive. And that's really important when you're feeling that sense of needing to make a change. That change should be anchored from what makes you feel alive and what is it that you really want. That way, you align yourself with the best chance of doing the thing that you really want. How many times have we jumped into jobs or roles or left situations only to find ourselves back in the same situation? It's like different face, same problems. Or us being the common denominator, and we're like, this isn't what I want. I'm tired of these patterns in my life. I want to break it. I want something different. Okay, so let's figure out what you really want. Here, let's jump into it, okay? Because it's really important, and I have some notes here, so you might hear me shuffling through my notebook. The very first thing I want you to do is get a special notebook, just something that is small enough for you to carry with you in your purse or in your backpack, or stick it in your car. I want you to have this with you. This is going to be your companion as you're trying to figure out what it is you really want. And it's important because we rarely think about this question. But let me tell you that when you do start thinking about it, your brain is going to start dropping you hints and whispering little things, and you'll notice things, and I want you to write all of those down. Just the little breadcrumbs that you're gonna start noticing and thinking about when you set your brain to work on this question. What is it that I really want? So there's no rules. This is mine, but I have many. I actually, these are my two that I'm using right now. But I like to just like use this like really. This isn't something I save just for ideas. I write to-do lists in here. I write dreams that I've had. I write ideas. I write poetry. I doodle in here. Like, this is just my companion. Okay, so you're gonna get a notebook, and what I'd love you to do on just like on a blank page is I want you to make 3 columns. I want you to make a column, and I want you to write joy at the top of it. And then in the next column, I want you to write creativity at the top. And then the next column, I would like you to write aliveness. This channel is called the Aliveness Project. And, I just started it a week ago. And I haven't really done a video about aliveness because it's something that we all know, but when I start talking about it, it can feel foreign. Like what's aliveness? Like, I'm alive, my heart's beating. But I think when I start to dig into like aliveness is that thing that you feel when your body starts like tingling and like I'm living maximum life. Like this is just, I'm hitting on all cylinders. I feel like all my senses are alive. Like my brain's working. I feel crisp and clear. I feel joyful. Like I feel really like I'm living in my purpose. That's aliveness. And so many of us don't live that way daily. I think we experience it. Like we might take a vacation and then we're like, oh, we get this like glimpses where it's like, man, I really enjoyed myself today. I haven't seen myself. I haven't seen parts of myself. Like I really feel like, Finn, come here. Can you hear him grumbling? He wants out. You might feel like, I forgot that part of myself, that young girl that just was like truly happy. And so you've got 3 columns on your page: joy, creativity, and aliveness. And what I want you to do is I want you to look at that column, that blank column of joy, and I want you first to make this distinction in your mind. Joy doesn't necessarily mean happiness, right? Like, it's not like, oh, someone gave me $1,000, I'm so happy. Joy is that thing that just like, whatever it is for you, whatever brings you joy, you know what that is. You know what makes your heart happy. I want you to start writing those things. Just let loose, start taking notes, just start writing and filling it in. Maybe set a timer if that helps for you to stay focused. Set a timer for a minute, and just start writing whatever comes into your mind, the things that bring you joy. And then you're going to leave it. And then maybe in the same session, or maybe the next time you have some time, I want you to look at that column that says creativity. And I want you to write down, this column is not for like the time when you painted or the time that you did ceramics. Like we're not going to limit that word creativity to arts and crafts. Creativity means when I got curious, when I used my imagination, when I tapped into possibility, where possibility became bigger than fear, and I started to like imagine. So it's a way of kind of taking note of creative possibilities. Maybe it is that you did arts and you wrote music, and like maybe it's that, but it doesn't only have to be that if you don't feel like you're an artsy person. Okay, and the third column is aliveness. I want you to fill this in either in the same session or another session. These are just moments when you are just removing the rules, right? Like so many times we go, what goal do I want to set? And then we say, okay, well, I'd like to open a business. I want to start a retreat business. I want to buy real estate as investment properties. And we set that as a goal. And then the next thing that comes up in our brain is all the reasons why that's not possible. And all of our, like, well, how would that even work? Like, what? Like, I'm never going to have enough money for a down payment for real estate. And immediately our imposter syndrome comes, our inner critic comes, and just kind of really squashes our ability to dream. And so I don't want you to really tie this to specific goals. I want you to really look at what, it's just you. I want you to investigate you. I want you to be curious about you. What brings you joy? Where do you feel creative, imaginative? Where do you tap into possibilities? And then the third column is aliveness. And that's like, when do you feel like, whoa, I am living in complete like euphoria of purpose. Like, wow, I feel invigorated. I feel alive. And I want you to just have these three columns. They don't have to intermingle. They don't have to relate. You know, I read in Harvard, there was a study done in Harvard Business Review about the things that bring us a satisfying life. And there's three things. It's joy, it's achievement, and it's meaningfulness. And that acronym JAM, joy, achievement, and meaningfulness, was what these researchers said brought us a satisfying life. When I say that, because when we don't know what we want, and when we're in the very beginning stages of crafting the things that we want for our lives, when we're deciding where we want to put our energy, we want to set the marker on doing things that make us come alive. We don't want to set the marker on things that make us money, things that bring us status, things that make people proud, because that is how we built the first part of our lives, most likely. You set the meter on those external things. And in this second part of our life, in this middle of our life and forward, I want us to really set the marker on that thing that makes us passionate. That's going to be the thing that's going to make this act 2 of life wildly invigorating. Is because we're going to design our life around who we are. We're going to come back to ourselves and think about, what is that thing that makes us feel so alive? I have a friend who, she's actually a cousin of mine, who has kind of tapped into working with horses. She's done a lot of work with women, and women somatically coming back to their bodies, loving themselves again, processing trauma and grief. And she's followed these things and come back to this place where she's now working with horses. And just like, she posted a picture where she was climbing onto a horse that she, for the first time, that this horse didn't let her ride it, and she had gotten on this particular horse for the first time. And her face, I told her, she looked like I could see this like inner child gleaming with joy. That does not have to be 5% of our life, and the other 95% is adulting, where we never tap into that. This is the point of our one beautiful, wild life, is that we get to design a life where that's our norm. And I think we have bought into the lie that like to be an adult means you let that stuff go and you snap back to reality. We have bills, we have kids, we have responsibilities. Who are you to think that you can live that way? That's the question that we bump up against a lot. And I'm here today to remind you that you were designed for that life. You were designed for that way of living. And so this is the first step, connecting to joy, creativity, and aliveness, and those things that connect you to those joy, creativity, and aliveness. And then you're going to just sit with that, and you can add to it. Take your time doing that. Really uncover, really begin to be curious. Live your days and your weeks and go like, oh, this brings me joy. Oh, let me write that down. Let me add that to the list. It's funny because I actually did that in my notebook, and I'll share some of the things that I wrote that are bringing me joy. I wrote here, going somewhere new, trying a new restaurant, making friends, learning a new language. I tried a boxing class, and that brought me joy. Walking in the vineyards, finding river beaches. These are some hammocking in the woods. Those are just like some of the things that bring me joy. And then some of the things that I wrote for creativity was that I was dreaming and thinking about starting a business. That I was doing a meditation where I was imagining my future and seeing that future and feeling like, can I design that? Is that possible? Like, that was a real moment of creativity for me that I was tapping into. When I do photography and when I capture something, emotions in my photography, that also makes me feel really connected to creativity. So those are just some things that I want you to do. And that list is going to be meaningful only to you. Like, you might have gotten bored hearing my list. I mean, you're like, that's what brings you joy? But to me, they're really meaningful. And that's me. I'm discovering my DNA. I'm discovering my joy print, who I am in this world, the mark I leave, the things that I love. And when we become students of ourselves, and when we begin to dissect our hearts and our passions, we can take those things as data, and we can begin to overlay them, and we can begin to see common threads, and we can begin to see patterns, and we can see, you might see like, wow, I really like adventure. Or, wow, I actually really do like creating and making things with my hands. Or, I come alive every time I am around children. Like, I think I really enjoy teaching children, working with children. You're just going to begin to see the patterns. And that's where we begin to take the breadcrumbs and start going. It's like seashells, like we kind of shake them, we dust off the sand, and we look at them and we kind of turn them over in our hands and we examine them and we go, what of these things that I'm looking at is what I want to take and begin to weave into my life, into what I want to do in the future. So, that list has been very helpful to me. And I do a lot of things with that list after I get it. And I just gave you like a real quick overview of how you could very quickly begin to see the patterns. AI is great now. I mean, this is a great opportunity for you to use AI to come in, and you can plug those lists into AI, and you can say like, tell me about the person that loves all of these things. What do they do? What does their life look like? What are possibilities for this person to make money, to relax, to adventure, like, and let AI do some of the pattern matching for you. Okay, maybe what I'll do is, if you're interested, drop me a comment below, and what I'll do is I'll send you a prompt that I have found really helpful to help me pattern match some of these things. So let me know in the comment below. But I mean, that's what I wanted to come on tonight and just share with you, like the beginning of figuring out what could make me feel really passionate about doing it. What do I want? What do I want to do? What do I want to do in life? I think that if you are feeling this like inkling that this is really important for you to do, to make a change, to take a risk, to take a leap, to do something different, to change your life, what's probably happening is that you are also experiencing paralysis, like just frozen, like you're handling a lot of stuff and you just kind of like table this. You just like, I don't have time for this. Like, I'm overwhelmed at the thought of excavating myself to figure out what I want. And you just take all that energy and you just like turn it to just like surviving in the life that you're living now. And so it's gonna take a little bit of work to break out of that paralysis. So I want to tell you that do this process as slow as you need to, but do a little bit every day. This doesn't have to be a big lift. What you're really trying to do is turn the ship. And think of yourself as a big cruise liner. They don't do quick turns. It's a slow movement. And that's how changing your life is. That's how going from feeling like the Sunday scaries, like I don't think I'm living the life I want to be living, to, oh my gosh, like I'm fully alive. I can't believe I'm doing this. I can't believe that I was able to make this work. I can't believe this is the life I've designed. Like, to go from that to this, it's a lot. And so we're here, we're gonna do it together. We're not gonna feel shame about where we are. We're not gonna feel pressure. We're gonna be kind to ourselves as we do this. And we're gonna count it such a joyful work to meet ourselves again, to like uncover ourselves from the layers of years of disconnection and playing small and limiting our dreams and thinking we're not good enough, and all of those things that have just like kept us under a weighted blanket. We're lifting that off. And today is the day. You know, you decide when the day is to start. So get your notebook, start your columns, and let's start finding out who you are again. Let's start finding out what makes you you. You look beautiful today. I forgot to mention that. And I just wanted you to know that if you put your comments down below, I will read them and I will respond to them. And I'm so grateful that you joined me tonight and that you hung in there through Finn's crying and Thank you for being patient with me as I'm learning to share this message in the most effective way. If you enjoyed this, would you like give me a thumbs up?